Can you hear me now?
This is the most important meeting I have ever attended in my life.
Thank you for the opportunity to play in the big leagues.
It's unbelievable how big an opportunity there is to quickly grow, this movement.
Well, I like exactly what the plan is.
Oh my gosh, no, we have an opportunity here that is stellar.
Make Earth great again. We should take a hat.
Go with this new project. Go, go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the November 12 Climate Restoration Working Session. We're in the middle of preparing for a major launch in January 22nd to launch the 25-year mission to restore the climate. So we're counting down. Today we're at T-minus 71 days. 71 days to start the 25-year mission to restore the climate by 2050. So tonight, our intention is to introduce the climate restoration system or ecosystem, right? The collection of organizations and teams and groups and projects that are going to collectively restore the climate by 2050. And our first step is to build and design that system. And that's what we're going to share with you today. But before we jump in, let's remind ourselves why we're doing this and for whom.
We are the future generations. We do not vote, so governments don't prioritize us. We do not pay taxes, so we are not in the budget. We do not buy products, so corporations ignore us. But you, our parents, our grandparents, our aunts and uncles, you have the power now. You are writing the story we will be born into. Will it be a world of chaos and collapse, or one of restoration, beauty, and life? We ask you to be bold, to stand up for us when no one else will, to make the choices today that will give us a tomorrow. Join the Climate Restoration Alliance. Sign the Climate Restoration Resolution. Fund the projects that restore the climate. Speak for us until we can speak for ourselves.
Very good. Thank you very much, Craig. We are writing the story they will be born into. So keep that in mind with every decision and with every action. So let's get back to the slide. Our 25-year mission is to restore the climate by 2050 to safe pre-industrial levels. Simple yet ambitious. We can see on the graph, we expect the CO2 levels to continue to rise for a little bit. And then once we're restoring the climate at full scale, we expect to see the CO2 levels go down. We're going to use this opportunity to do a little A/B testing. So you can see this is version A, restore the climate by 2050 to safe pre-industrial levels. And we've been playing around also with a different title, End Global Warming by 2050 by restoring the climate to safe pre-industrial levels. Right? So if you can go back, Craig, and let people see the first version and the second version. And if you think one is better than the other, please write that in the chat. We're going to do a little focus group so that we eventually can choose one. Very good. So while we're doing that, let's move to the next slide. So our 25-year mission to restore the climate by 2050, we estimate it's going to cost about $25 billion, about $1 billion a year. That's less than 1 cent per US person per day. So very, very doable, especially compared to the damages, financial and otherwise, that we see happening all around us, all over the world. And what we expect is that the next steps that we're going to be taking, which we're going to discuss in this meeting, are going to unlock all the funding that we need to complete this project. So I'm going to quote Peter in the OIF meeting. He said, let's create a plan as if we're going to have all the funding that we need. And so that's the intention, so that we can be successful. So this is our timeline. Over the next 2 years, we're going to do pilot projects to continue to develop the technology and have OIF ready for scale up. 28, 29, and 30, 3 years to scale up to around 50 sites. Could be more, could be less. But right now we estimate around 50 sites, 25 ships, 500,000 tons of iron every year. That should give us the result that we want, removal of 60 gigatons of CO2 from the atmosphere every year. So if you do the simple math, to remove 1 trillion ton of CO2, we need 50 gigatons per year times 20 years. And we say 60 because we want to account for the emissions that we won't be able to completely eliminate. So how are we going to do it? Our main climate restoration pathway is ocean iron fertilization, OIF. And we have our climate restoration movement leader here, Peter Fiakovsky, to explain to us what that means. Go ahead, Peter.
Okay, thank you. And everyone, thank you for being here. Most of you have heard my little spiel about ocean fertilization, and some of you haven't, so I apologize for potentially boring anyone. So what we're going to do is replicate the general process that nature does in the ice age cycle. So during ice ages, about 1,000 billion tons of CO2 get removed into the ocean, not as CO2, but as carbon, as carbonates. And they stay there for 50,000 years or so. And then something changes. No one understands yet quite what happens. And then they come back out of solution, and the planet warms up again because the CO2 level goes up. Nature does it with photosynthesis, which is instigated by the missing micronutrient, which is iron. Most of the ocean is blue rather than green. And if you apply a minute amount of iron, it'll turn green. We've developed over the last couple of years 3 very important innovations. So this ocean fertilization idea of adding iron to the ocean has been discussed since 1990 and understood to be how nature removes the same amount of CO2 we need to remove. And in the last 3 years, we realized several things. One, that the most impact happens when you do it over a downwelling eddy, which pulls the carbon out of the ocean, out of the surface ocean and away from the fish, because the fish will eat it, metabolize it, and essentially exhale the CO2. Second is to provide enough iron so that nitrogen fixing happens. So if you recall from middle school biology, farmers always grow crops that replenish nitrogen periodically. And the same thing is required in the ocean. You have to replenish the nitrogen. And you do that in the ocean by adding additional iron. That hasn't been discussed until this last year. And now it's getting scientific acceptance. And the third major innovation is using satellites and CO2 buoys. So oceanographers have always been interested in what happens in the ocean, but those of us looking at the climate are very interested in what happens in the atmosphere. So we measure the CO2 removed from the atmosphere using buoys. You can see the yellow and black buoys. You can measure how much CO2 is removed upwind minus the downwind. And we also now are using satellites. And that's a long story. But between all of that, that means that we can the modeling shows that probably we can remove our 50 or 60 gigatons per year for about $1 billion a year. So that's about 100,000th of the global GDP, 1/100,000th, a very small amount. So we're on our way. We've recently filing patents. We've written or drafted our first paper about the satellite work and about the historical work using previous eruptions, the Pinatubo eruption and 2 other older ones. So we're getting acceptance. Tomorrow I'm giving a talk along with 2 of the senior people at Woods Hole Oceanographic about this. So I'll be on the same stage with them talking, which is phenomenal progress for us. So that's anything else you want to know? Milan?
I think this was great, Peter. You get clap from Judy. Thank you, Judy. And yeah, so Peter's going to stay with us, and we will have a Q&A session at the end of the presentation if there are any specific questions about OIF. And we also had an in-depth review of the science and engineering of OIF. It's posted on our website and YouTube channel. Craig will put that link in the chat in a minute, Craig or Judy. Let's go to the next slide. Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you.
Based on our timeline, we have 5 years to build what we call the climate restoration system or ecosystem or industry. We'll figure out the name. The important thing that this system, right, we know that it needs input in the form of people power, money power, and partnerships. And of course, a little bit of iron as well. And somehow, through some magical process that we will design and develop, eventually that iron will find its way to those right places in the ocean over the downwelling eddies to trigger that phytoplankton bloom. And then the downwelling eddy, like Peter said, is going to take the CO2 down and remove it from the carbon cycle. So that's our theory. That's what we're going to test and develop over the next 2 years. In order to, let's go to the next slide. In order to build that system, we've defined 6 teams that are going to design that system, how to build it and how to operate it. And we're going to see when that's going to happen in the first 6 months of 2026 after we launch. We're going to go over the teams in a few slides, and then you're going to have a link in the chat with the form that you can submit and kind of indicate, I want to help on this team, on that team, and so on. At the moment, we're in fundraising mode, so we're 99% powered by volunteers. And every person that comes in brings with them experience and knowledge and skills and contacts. So don't hesitate, don't be shy. Please find yourself in one of those teams and join the effort. I want to give a special acknowledgement to Kevin Shanley. He was a longtime donor, and then kind of, I don't know, I'm going to let Kevin speak, but I think he lost his patience, says, let's move things forward. I'm willing to pledge $100,000 if we can find champions to match it. And so that a few months ago, that kind of kickstarted the whole process that we're in right now. So Kevin, thank you very much for that. Would you like to say a few words, introduce yourself and your incredible initiative?
Sure, thank you. You know, a lot of scientists are working on the climate, obviously, and a lot of scientists are now working on ocean iron fertilization. But as Elon mentioned, I'm impatient. The deep science that's done really carefully takes years and decades. And we don't have years or decades to deal with our climate. We're dancing right along the edge of potential catastrophic climate change, and we need to be doing some actually in the water testing of the ocean ion fertilization approach. It's really the only approach that's scalable up to the amount of carbon we need to pull out of the atmosphere. It's the only one that's affordable. And so we've got to get going and start the pilot projects. And the science will catch up to us and validate all the things that we're doing. We'll be feeding that information in. So what we're doing is we're looking for people to give the Climate Restoration Alliance and actually the Grandparents Fund for Climate Restoration a 3-year kind of working commitment where you commit to $5,000 a year over 3 years. $5,000 might seem like a lot of money, but we spend that much on dinners and drinks and large screen TVs and goodness knows what. This is a way to protect our climate for future generations. And nothing could be more important. So I hope that those of you who haven't considered joining, becoming a climate champion, I hope you'll do so. If you can't make $5,000 commitment, making a smaller commitment, we're really just looking for the funds to do the work that Elon is describing here on this show. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Kevin. So Kevin is our one of our climate restoration angels. And we're going to talk a little bit about what that means. At this point, I want to acknowledge the champions that have already stepped up and stepped in. Bob Wright, Peter Fiakovsky, Kirk Lawton, Diane Warren. Yes, we can clap after each name. They deserve it. Diane Warren, Frank and Terry Sanitate, Eloise and Richard Chevier, Linda Vernoy, Ron Matheson, Ray Sunby, Melanie Trent, Robert Fisher, Peter Garrett, and Robert Carey and Jane Lawton. Yes, you heard right. We have 2 Lawtons as champions. The Lawton family is in the lead. Very good. You're invited to join as founders and champions, as angels. We're going to talk a little bit about what that means on the next slide. So you can see on the right where we are in our fundraising journey. Our goal is to reach $300,000 in January. So we have enough fuel in the tank to take off. The first 100 is covered by Kevin. Thank you very much, Kevin, for that. We need to make sure that we get the second 100 to match it. And we're at $64,000 right now. So $36,000 are missing to be able to match Kevin's grant. And then we're going to continue to fundraise throughout the rest of the year so that we have enough money in the tank to begin. You can step up as climate restoration champions per Kevin's invitation, $5,000 a year for 3 years. There are other ways to become climate restoration founders and be one of the 1,000 people, companies and family offices that will be remembered as those who made climate restoration happen. So if you can do that, you're invited to join as a climate restoration angel with a pledge of $100,000 a year for 3 years, or you can become a monthly donor for $100 a month with a long-term commitment. You can become a founder, a climate restoration founder as well. And also people that give time. This is just as important. You can join one of the teams, and we'll talk about the different teams and the different opportunities to participate and to volunteer. If you're ready to step in, you can raise your hand. You can use the party popper emoji, and we will stop and acknowledge you. Obviously, this doesn't have to be public, so you can send a private message, reach out. My email and phone number are in the chat. So please step in and step up and support the process. Let's go to the next slide. So these are the 6 teams that we want to start the 25-year mission to restore the climate with. The OIF team is the team that we're launching today. This is our big announcement for today. The OIF team has been meeting weekly for a couple of weeks now. And we're setting up the stage so that we can start the work in January. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. The global movement team is about bringing people in. Our plan is to bring 1 million people by the end of 2026. And then when momentum is unstoppable, reach 1 billion people by the end of the decade, by 2030. On the right side, we have the blended finance team. This team's job is to design the fuel system of the climate restoration machine or system or ecosystem, right? Imagine that we have a tank that can hold $1 billion. This is our annual budget, give or take. And then from that fuel tank, we need to feed all the different teams, groups, operations, projects, programs, companies, organizations, and so on to make sure that the job is done at the right time and in the right way. The partnership team is about bringing other organizations into the fold, and I can tell you that from recent conversations that I have, people love that 25-year framework. Right. So I heard other people say, why just restore the climate by 2050? Why not do other things by 2050, like restore natural ecosystems, clean up the plastic in the ocean? There's a lot of things that we need to heal, restore, fix, clean up in our world today. So just something to keep in mind, right? If you know of other organizations, alliances, members, membership networks, and so on, talk to them about that. Talk to them about what they want to do in the next 25 years and what they want to accomplish by 2050, and let's do it together. Then we have the steering committee and the operations team. This is about coordination. This is about making sure everything works behind the scene and under the hood. Very good. So first of all, I want to acknowledge Peter again for just being a true leader. And Peter took on leading the OIF team and developing the roadmap for scaling up OIF by 2030. And in our initial conversations, we came up with this structure. So in the OIF team, we're going to have the following working groups represented. The first one is going to be the executive working group that's going to coordinate the whole OIF development effort, science and monitoring, what needs to be measured, how, and by whom. I don't think Matt is with us here, but Matt will be Matt. Don't remember his last name. He's a marine biologist and our ocean health advisor. So he's going to be helping us to set up that working group. Data systems and MRV integration to handle the data, how to collect and how to analyze and how to report. The actual development of the technology. We're playing around with the definition of the OIF readiness level. There is the NASA technology readiness level. There is operational readiness level. And we're working to define what it means to have OIF ready for scale up. The fifth.
I'll add something to that, Alon. This is Alon's development, and it's really a brilliant approach where we're doing something that's not been done before. No one has ever even seriously discussed scaling up OIF before. And so there are by dividing it into measurable steps, and Alon defined based on the NASA work, the progress steps. Now there can be outcomes that are found, which can either be sequential or a lot of them can be done in parallel. But by having defined it, that's just one of the little breakthroughs that we're accomplishing right now.
Very good. Yes, Peter, thank you. So the logistics and operations will manage operations and safety. And these 5 working groups are going to be set up initially and in this order. So that we can focus initially on implementing OIF at one site, figuring out all the questions and all the things that need to be figured out. And then continue to develop the plan on how to scale OIF across 50 sites or whatever the number might be, right? So then we're going to need a working group to do the site identification and permitting. I always say that, the people on this working group probably love to travel because they have to go and, visit lots of exotic places. And then, of course, the ethics, safety, and governance working group. This is something that is going to affect every living person on Earth and every person that hasn't been born yet. And so we owe it to ourselves, right, to make sure that all the voices are heard, all the perspectives are considered. And what we're doing is ethical, safe, and well-governed. So again, in the chat, you're going to see the description of the teams and the working groups, and consider where your place is in that structure. If you're not sure, you can reach out to any of our team members, and we're going to introduce some of them in a little bit.
So, Ilan, I'll add one more thing. When I first saw this list of 7, it looked like a shopping list to me, and or a laundry list. But with expertise in this, each of these 7 fields are critical, and it's a really good opportunity for a lot of people to get involved. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, and Ilan, this is what Ilan's native language, which is systems. He's divided up so people can get involved. So absolutely, if any of these are things which naturally calls to you, whether you're experienced or not, there'll be a lot of times that someone can come in without experience and bring in beginner's mind. So whatever it is that calls to you, this is an opportunity.
Yes, very good, very good. Thank you, Peter. And we are meeting right now weekly, Tuesdays at 7 a.m. Pacific or 10 a.m. Eastern. And the purpose of the team right now is to figure out and build the team that will eventually design the roadmap to scale OIF by 2050. Right. So I want to reiterate what Peter said. You don't have to be a marine biologist or a NASA scientist. Anybody can help. Sometimes it's just, the right perspective or the attention to details, and so on.
And it's okay if you're a NASA scientist and you want to join us, by the way.
Okay. Very good. Next slide, please. Right. So this is what the next 2 years are going to look like. The first 6 months, we're going to build the roadmap. Specifically, right now, we're talking about OIF, but the same questions are going to come up with the other teams, right? How do we scale climate restoration in terms of our communication, outreach? How do we increase the number of people? How do we make sure that money comes in and flows in the right way? So all of these questions are going to be answered in the first 6 months of 2026, which is going to give us then 4.5 years to scale. In the following 1.5 years, we're going to do pilot projects in the ocean to increase the readiness level of the OIF solution, and at the same time set up everything so that when OIF ready to scale, we're ready to scale it at the same time, hopefully at the beginning of 2028. And as you can see below, we're still fine-tuning our definition of the readiness level. Next slide, please. So, like we said, the OIF team meets weekly on Tuesdays. You can reach out to me or to Peter, or fill out the form, or use the contact us, or just write in the chat if you want to be invited to those meetings. At the moment, we have Kevin there, and Ray Sanby, and Bob Fisher, and Matt, I can't remember his last name, the marine biologist, and probably one other person that I forget. So there's plenty of room for more people.
Matt Scova.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And so the next meeting is next Tuesday on November 18. And then as we prepare for the launch, the next milestone is going to be the presentation of the OIF team on December 4th. That's our next big community update. And then, of course, January 22nd, we're very curious to see what the OIF team is going to come up with for the launch. You can see that December 10 is a grayed out. That's by invitation only. We're going to be inviting people that know how to raise and manage money and develop all kinds of financial vehicles to support what we're doing. So again, this is by invitation only, and you can reach out to me or to AM to join that team. Next slide, please. Right, so this is again the 6 teams. We're now pretty clear about each one of them. I'll review the purpose of each team and what we're looking for, and there's going to be a form, a link to a form on the website, in the chat, where you can submit your information and join one of those teams. So the steering committee, at this point, I want to acknowledge the existing steering committee, which is Judy, Chuck, Frank, Mondi, and Peter, who's been leading this organization for the last 2 years. And now the steering committee has agreed to support the transition to the new structure. So we have a few new people that have joined that steering committee. We're looking for people like experienced a leader with strategic vision, organizational development, and change management expertise. Do we have John Hecker here? Do you want to say hi, John? Introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. So John is our one of the new members of the steering committee. Please introduce yourself briefly and tell us why you joined the steering committee.
Yeah, so thanks, Elon. So AM and Linda Vernoy sort of introduced me to the group, but I was glad to get involved. As Elon mentioned, a lot of background in strategy, sustainability, organizational development. And this is an exciting moment to be among the founders of the Climate Restoration Alliance. We're the people that are going to make this happen. The vision, as a number of you have mentioned, is critically important. It's to restore the climate for our generation and for future generations. It's going to require purpose. It's going to require energy. It's going to need optimism. So how do we get there? From my experience, it's a process of growth and transformation based on shared values. And Ralph Waldo Emerson said, and I'm paraphrasing here, it's not in their goals, but in their transitions or transformations that make humans great. A transformative process needs leadership, it needs commitment, and it needs dedication. And the Alliance is going to need all of us and more to grow the movement. Your contribution could be a financial commitment. It could be skills you bring in communication, management, marine science, logistics, and so on. You can sign the pledge. You can give thumbs up or claps in the meetings. I'm sure that's going to be welcome too. So this is an exciting, critical time to be involved. And personally, I'm thrilled to be part of it. Back over to you, Ilan.
Thank you very much, John. We're thrilled to have you with us. The next team is the OIF team. We've discussed that the purpose is to develop the roadmap to scale OIF by 2030. And what we're looking for are ocean scientists, engineers, project managers, skilled in marine operations, large-scale deployment, and MRV systems. But as we said before, any skills, any experience can help. The most important thing is the passion and the commitment. The next one is the blended finance team. Some people said they don't know what blended finance means, so I'll explain. Blended finance means that we are funding this project, one project with different kinds of funding. For example, the nonprofit philanthropic support can fund the initial stages of R&D, of exploration, of programs that are not necessarily about OIF, but about communication, ambassadors, and so on. And then other funding from family offices, other funding from investment funds, and so on. They can all pour in, and we can use them at different stages of the project. So that's what blended finance means. There's more and more conversation about that because people understand that, you know, They need to be flexible on the money side to meet the projects, and the project need to meet the money. So there's a lot of effort right now around designing these financial tools and vehicles to accelerate funding for projects. So the purpose of the blended finance team is to ensure climate restoration has sufficient and uninterrupted funding, and right now we call it $1 billion a year. And we're looking for financial managers and innovators with experience in climate finance, fundraising, investment structuring, and capital mobilization. So if you're interested in that, fill out the form or reach out to me or to AM, and let's talk. The global movement team. The purpose is to launch a global movement, 1 million people by 2026 and 1 billion people by 2030. So we're looking for campaign strategists, communicators, skilled in mobilizing global audiences, storytelling, and digital engagement.
Can I say something more about that, Elon?
Please, Judy.
I think I'm inspired by everybody getting together, really, you could say on the ground floor. And I'm taking this language from Brian Webster, so thank you, Brian, to create this transnational citizens movement to achieve our global goals. And I think that's important because a lot of work has been done on what's the tipping point, in any kind of movement. And I don't think we're that far away. So how to building this kind of movement, it isn't just 1 million people. It's what 1 million people signifies, is that we really have a groundswell to create what we want to create for future generations.
Very good. Thank you very much,
Thanks.
Judy. If you can say also a few words about the ambassador program and how we want to transition that into the global movement team.
Sure. So we've had ambassadors for for climate restoration, and many of you are here. And the ambassadors are really going to provide this beginning leadership for what's bigger than that. So we've each been, like reaching out to our own communities, but we need ambassadors all over the world. And we want to keep enrolling ambassadors. And there are people who will come into the global movement who may not want to be ambassadors, but they're doing their own thing, and they want all the same things that we want to restore the climate. So the ambassadors are very important. They may be ambassadors for a specific country. We have a lot of Rotary ambassadors, so we're really creating a lot of movement within Rotary all over the country and all over the world. So we need all of those different groups that are going to work together. So the ambassadors are going to be a very important part of the global movement.
Very good. And I have breaking news for everybody. As of this week, we have a new climate restoration ambassador to Panama. If Andre is here, you can raise your hand and say hi. So that's very exciting. We have climate restoration ambassador to Panama, to Benin, to Togo. And I think that's it for now, but there's a lot of people coming in, people from Zambia, Australia, talking to people in Fiji.
And Fanuel says, I'm in Kenya. I can take the ambassador role.
Very good. So, Fanuel, why don't you put your email in the chat and Judy will be in touch with you. Thank you very much. That's very exciting. So the partnership team, the purpose is to engage mission-aligned organization to adopt the climate restoration mission. It could be putting something on the website. Hold on, I have something from Peter. Peter, you have a party popper icon. Do you want to say something?
Oh, that was just for Kenya. Yay for having an ambassador to Kenya is a key nation in Africa and in the world. It's the second center for the UN and the UN Environmental Program.
Yes, yes. Like I said at the beginning, we have, I think, 13 people from Kenya that signed up. Our upcoming director of operation is a volunteer from Kenya. Her name is Beth. We have somebody that is doing our TikTok account from Kenya, so it's all very, very exciting. And we're going to talk about this at the December 4th community update. But I just want to let you know that recently there was a conference in Africa discussing how they can increase their marine-based carbon removal capacity. So again, we're going to go deeper into the growing demand for OIF as a solution around the world. We're going to talk about that in our next webinar on December 4th.
And Ilan, let me just add that Kenya's government has been in conversation a year and a half ago, requesting how do we get ocean fertilization going in their area, so that there's already a request.
Excellent, excellent. Good. So having an ambassador or ambassadors in Kenya, we don't just limit it to one ambassador per country. We can have multiple, the more the better. So having ambassadors for Kenya is going to be amazing. So for the partnership team, we're looking for relationship builders with experience in coalition development, diplomacy, and strategic collaboration across sectors and territories. The operation teams, we sometimes like to call it the industry team. Basically, the idea is to a team that organizes the ecosystem of companies, investors, technologies, and professionals restoring the climate. We have a few people part of this. Kirk, I'm going to let you say a few words in a minute, but just want to say that we're looking for this team, we're looking for system thinkers, managers with expertise in organizational design, operations, and scaling sustainable ventures, investments, projects, business models. We're all going to review that and develop what we need in order to restore the climate. Kirk, please. I just want to say before you start that Kirk is another climate restoration angel, has been supporting us, not just financially, but we've been meeting weekly, I think, for over a year now. It's just such a pleasure to work with you, Kirk, and you just bring fresh perspectives and ideas. Thank you very much for being with us. Go ahead.
Great. So just really been fantastic getting to work with these brilliant people who have enormous vision for what our world can be and actually getting it to happen. So this operations team, what we're really doing, and I don't think there's anybody in the world that is actually an expert at this because it's never been done before, like designing the ecosystem that's going to allow our climate to be restored. So it's going to take creativity and imagination and big vision and willingness to play and experiment. And so if this is exciting to you, as an entrepreneur, I'm working on this in my business all the time. Like, where can I find a place in my business where I can put in 1 unit of energy or something and get out 100? So it's that kind of thinking that we're looking for. And so if that calls to you, come and join us.
Very good. Thank you very much, Kirk. And I think we covered all the teams, so we can move to the next slide. This is what you're going to see on the website. In the website, it's not side by side. It's a little bit different, but basically there are 2 forms there. One is to apply as a volunteer to the Grandparents Fund, the legal entity. So we need to start developing our organizational capacity. So we're looking for a chief financial officer, director of operation. Like I said, Beth is already working towards that position. Program manager, communication manager, marketing manager, campaign manager, social media manager, a legal counsel, and any other help that you can bring with you. So if you want to support the organization, that's the form, what you see here on the left. I think on the website, it's actually on the right. And then at the bottom, there's the other form, join the teams that restore the climate. And when you go to the website, you're going to scroll down. There's a short description of the teams, and then you can fill out your information, and we will be in touch. All right, so the steering committee OIF team that has been launched today. You're invited to join the next meeting on Tuesday, 7 a.m. Pacific. The blended finance team, we're going to launch on December 10. This is going to be by invitation only, a smaller gathering so that we can stay focused. Next slide. The global movement team, the partnership team, and the operations team. So all the information is on the website and in the chat. And if you hear the call, please join us. All right, so this is where we are today. We kicked it off with our founders inaugural meeting on October 8th, followed by the climate restoration community mobilization on October 22nd. You can put that in your calendars. October 22nd, 2025 is forever going to be the Climate Restoration Mobilization Day. November 12th, that's today, right? So we're now preparing the teams. The first team was OIF, and then the other teams will follow. There's already people that have been working around these topics. So this is going to be, we're going to hit the ground running, like they say. On December 4th, we're going to have the final pre-launch community briefing before we, leave for Hanukkah or Christmas or any kind of end of the year celebration. We want to finish our fundraising by the end of the year, hopefully by the end of this month, so that we can stop focusing on fundraising and put 100% of our energy in building the teams and preparing for the launch. But until we raise that money, we still need to continue to fundraise. So your support and help, if you can participate, if you can invite others to participate, if you know of others that may be interested, but you're hesitant to make the ask yourself, reach out to any of the people on the fundraising committee, Linda, AM, myself, Peter, and then we can set up a meeting and introduce climate restoration and make the ask to the people that you bring. We're happy to do a group call or one-on-one calls so that we can meet our goal. And then on January 22nd, the official kickoff of the 25-year project to restore the climate by 2050. We're going to need the enough fuel in the tank and all the people in the teams getting ready for launch. Next slide. So these are our upcoming events. You're going to have the links to register in the chat, and you can also scan the QR code. Like we said, December 4th, that's for everyone, and I do mean everyone. This is a big thing that we're doing here, and we believe that everybody should and would like to be a part of it. So invite your friends, invite your families, your colleagues, your networks, your social media followers. December 4 is going to be a big end of the year event, and our last one before the big kickoff in January. December 10, the Blended Finance Committee kickoff, an intimate gathering of people that understand money, how to create it, how to bring it, how to manage it. And then January 22nd, after everybody got back from their vacations, we will start the 25-year mission to restore the climate. Next slide, please. So again, this is the invitation. Become one of the 1,000 people, the 1,000 climate restoration founders who will be remembered as those who made climate restoration happen. You can step in as an angel, $100,000 a year for 3 years. Step in as a champion. We need 7 more? 36, right? 7 more people to meet the 7 more champions to reach the 100,000 so that we can match the challenge grant. You can become a monthly donor. If $100 is too much, $10 is fine, $50, whatever you can do, as long as you have that monthly reminder of this commitment. And having a large number of monthly donors is important. Not just the amount, but also the number of people is important to us when we go and speak to the billionaires and the people that have a lot of money. They want to see that this is a movement that is happening. And any amount gets us closer to 300 ppm and a cooler Earth. This was the addition from John Schul, who is the founder of the Eco Restoration Alliance, that we're now talking to sync up our schedules, because we can launch more than just restoring the climate, right? We can launch it as a global movement to restore the planet for future generations. We will be focused on OIF and the other stuff, but we can and should do that side by side with all the other people that are doing such an important work on other things. So I think we're at the end of the presentation, just the last slide with the contact information. This is the link to become a monthly donor. My phone number and my email, reach out. Don't hold back. Now is the time, and we are the people. So thank you very much for being here with us, and thank you very much for listening. The presentation is now over, and we're going to start the Q&A session. Terry Molnar is here. Hi, Terry. How are you?
Yes, I'm wonderful, Alon. I'm wonderful. I just posted my $5,000 commitment for each of the next 3 years.
Oh, amazing, amazing. Use the clap. Yes, you can do it manually. You can do it digitally. Thank you very much, Terry, for that. I want to acknowledge Terry for being the third co-founder of the Foundation for Climate Restoration, along with Peter and myself back in 2017. Terry, what do you have to say, 8 years after we started F4CR?
It's amazing how slow some things happen. We were crystallizing around all of this back in 2017. As I said in the last phone call, what I think is the most significant two things are that you and Peter and AM and the others have all put this together into an organizational system. That is really important. I'm just really impressed today with the organizational structure you set up, because it's really obvious we need to have ways for all of these people to get involved and to play their role and to have it function like a well-oiled, engine. But the second thing that I said back then is that we now have a single focus. The focus on putting the iron in the ocean and having, we got the ocean is 71% of the space of the planet. And so we have a lot of space where we can do that, and that can be the most significant thing for climate restoration. And so we've got to focus on one thing that people can easily understand that's doable. I'll just leave you with the question that came up for me when you were presenting this, Peter. Once we put the iron in the ocean, do we have to keep putting iron in the ocean for it to happen, or does it start a perpetual process a little bit?
Mostly we have to continue. Oh, am I muted? No.
No, you can hear me.
Yeah, okay, good. Mostly you have to continue adding the iron as long as we want to and where we want to. The phytoplankton does help grow whales, and whales also recycle a lot of the iron. So we don't know what will happen. It'll be good. That is, any healthy ecosystem is healthy.
Yeah, good. All right. Thanks.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much, Terry. Linda, go ahead.
Yeah, assuming we also reach, this is for Peter, assuming we also reach net zero by that time, by 2050, and if we've taken out enough by 2050 to have a healthy climate, then wouldn't we be able to stop putting it in? As long as it's staying down in the deep ocean and not coming back up?
In theory, yes. In practice, there's enough ocean circulation that we have reason to assume that there will be more CO2 that coming out of the ocean that we had dissolved in the ocean over the last 100 years. The theory is theory, practice we will discover.
And Linda, I wanna tell you that there's a whole group of people that are looking at ocean iron fertilization, not just as a carbon removal methodology, but also as a way to revive the ocean, regenerate the ocean, bring back the fish. So in our kind of new state of mind as stewards of Earth, we might have to fertilize and take care of the ocean so that they can take care of us. Even after we remove the CO2. So I think that's going to be a very, very interesting process. So go ahead, Peter.
Okay, thank you. A point was made by Terry, I think, quite correctly, that the oceans make up 71% of Earth's surface. However, Peter, how much of that has vortices going down, And how much do you think we could actually get to use for this process?
Yeah. So the amount of the ocean with downwelling is it's about 5%. And I have a map here. I'll just pull this map up for us for a second because I love the vivid image. This is from NASA. God bless them. They're plugging along uh, in the shutdown. But in this map of the world, the blue areas are downwelling eddies. And so you can see they're spread out pretty widely. And there are also areas where there aren't any at all. So it's about a few percent.
Thank you. Very clear.
So are you saying, Peter, that that's the only places that would be wise for us to do the ionization?
Yeah, what we've discovered so far is that there's very little CO2 removed anywhere that there aren't any downwelling eddies, presumably because the fish eat it and they metabolize it and exhale it. As you're just like in a garden or in a rainforest, the amount of energy available is used up by the animals that grow there. And so the downwelling eddies pull it down before it gets eaten and metabolized. And this is a new discovery. I was very surprised when we started doing the work with the NASA's Orbiting Carbon Observatory, because I expected to find a lot of carbon removal in the Gulf of Mexico, with all the phytoplankton and algae that grows from the Mississippi River, and there was none. And I realized there was none because as much energy was produced, as much nutrients was produced by the phytoplankton, it was all eaten up. You had balance in the ecosystem there.
Peter, somebody requested a copy of the ocean eddy map. Is that a link that you can paste in the chat?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Harvey, go ahead.
Yes. Peter, I am such a great admirer of you. And this is the most important meeting I have ever attended in my life. I'm 90 years old, and I am so glad that this has taken place in the last part of my lifetime. It is truly for all our great grandchildren and their great grandchildren. And Peter, I thank you for their lives. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Harvey.
you. Thank you very much, Harvey.
Such warm words.
All right. So I have just a couple of just quick comments, and then I can talk a little bit about the movement thing. One is, Peter, I didn't you mentioned something about filing for patents, and I didn't understand how that fit into things, because just my impression was we were kind of like promoting a movement that is kind of open source, like open source software so that everybody can use the technology freely and not like a patent thing. The other thing I just wanted to comment is that I suggest that we not have a single focus on ocean iron fertilization, because I understand that is the trim tab, the most important thing to do. But not everybody in the broad climate restoration movement is passionate about that. Some people are passionate about bamboo, other people are passionate about kelp, and some people are passionate about direct air capture. So I want to urge, as we launch our movement, our 25-year plan, that we don't become so single focused on one of the climate restoration's strategies or technologies that we fail to be able to onboard everybody else who's passionate about working on their particular strategy for climate restoration. And then I just had a quick question. When will the book be actually printed? When will it come off the press, the second book, Peter?
Okay. So going backwards, the book is scheduled to be published on Earth Day, April 22nd.
Okay,
And
good.
yeah. And we intend to have preview copies before that. Going backwards, having multiple strategies, that's always a challenge one way and the other. Focus is always important. And I like how Kevin talked about it, that, you know, and also Terry, that when you have real focus, this is what we're doing, and it's going to deliver, that attracts people. If you say, well, we're going to try everything we need, then yeah, that's a different kind of person that you attract. So the mathematics of it is that nothing comes within a factor of 500 in terms of the efficiency of ocean fertilization. And a factor of 500 is just overwhelming. And yes, people will continue doing direct air capture and kelp and everything else, and they should, but we don't need to diffuse our attention on those things that are hundreds of times less effective, and also have never been tested. The nice thing about ocean fertilization is it's the only method that's actually been tested and works in ice ages. And then the question about the patent. The reason for filing the patent is to make sure no one else files a patent and prevents us from getting our work done. It's that simple. No one, no one is
So that's
gonna.
like Elon. That's like a Tesla strategy: file a patent, but not enforce it.
Exactly. Because
Okay,
no one's gonna make money on it. I mean, hopefully some people will make salaries, but no one's gonna get rich off of this that I know of.
Okay, so I can just quickly say in terms of the movement thing, I've been doing research, and it's unbelievable how big an opportunity there is to quickly grow, this movement. And particularly, there are so many talented young people. I'm talking about high school students, college students, young people have dropped out of college, and started businesses and just doing like amazing things within the climate industry. So here in San Francisco, every April we have a thing called Climate Week. And in that Climate Week last year, there was 450 events that 25,000 people participated in. And this was like a decentralized thing where everybody could organize their own event, get a speaker, draw an audience of a few 100 people or 500 people. We had they had an announcement to kick it off with the mayor, Al Gore, Nancy Pelosi, and it's a full week of events. So I think that we should take advantage of that by partnering with a group called the TED Countdown or TEDx, which is a special TED conference focused on just climate stuff. So we could organize a whole day of just people talking about climate restoration, get them videotaped through the TEDx system, and participate in a big way in this climate week. And then not only would we have our gathering and make a big impression in San Francisco, but the video would exist to distribute around the world. And then that's just the third thing quickly is there's a group called Climate Cardinals. And this is started by a young Stanford student. And they have 10,000 young people all over the world translating climate documents into different languages because they, only 80% of the people in the world do not speak English, but 80% of the climate documents are in English. So these people have a global network of young people just focused on translating climate documents. So we can work with them to translate our documents so that they are going to be available to people speaking all languages. And then we can also engage this network of climate cardinals, which is over 10,000 young people all over the world.
Very good, Brian. So we're looking forward to hearing more of these ideas in the global movement team. Brian is also helping with the steering committee to kind of handle this transition. Team, before I give you the mic, I just want to say a couple of words about, Brian, what you said about the focus. All right, so we want to make a distinction between two main objectives. One is the what, right? We want everybody to agree that what we want is to restore the climate. And that's what the global movement is about, right? It's what we want to accomplish, what we want to give to our grandchildren, and so on. Then there is the question of how. And we're going to be focused on the OIF how, right? Which we know is going to do most of the heavy lifting of removing the excess CO2 from the atmosphere. But inside that movement, that global movement, we want everybody to find their own how, right? And the idea is that, we're creating momentum, we're doing this together, and our focus will remain on OIF because that's, what I think getting the least attention right now out of all the different climate solutions, and we know that's the most important thing. Very good. So, Tim, go ahead.
Okay. A friend of mine was on that boat that dumped the initial 2012 approximate stuff off California. He's someone who's just a bit of a character, and he's gone over fishing for a number of years, and he was on that boat. So they dumped the stuff. They went back to Vancouver, and they got chased around for a weekend while they the journalists wanting to know what was going on, and then went back to that same spot. He said it was just unbelievable, the sea life, because they went back to fish. They dumped I can't remember, it was a 60-ton or whatever it was, the filings, and then they went back 2 weeks later, or the time they steamed out there. And he said, what they saw was just unbelievable, and marine mammals, fascinating. So hopefully it's a very visual thing when it gets going. It's very obvious, it's very abundant, and that's kind of what very exciting potential for us all to be walking into something you can actually very much see.
Very good. Thank you very much, team. Linda and AM, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I think it's really great what Peter was saying about focus, and focusing on OIF is a really important thing. But as we talk about a movement, probably even Peter said not everybody's going to be involved in OIF. So to really build a movement, we probably need things that everybody can do. And there are lots of different ways to restore the climate. It may not be as scalable, but there might be things that other people can do. So I think we want to keep that in mind in terms of engagement of people.
Yeah, you can think of OIF as the baby, right? We're developing and nurturing the baby until it's ready, and the movement as the airplane that's going to take the baby to its destination. I don't know if it's a good metaphor, but I just wanted to say it. So anything else, Linda?
Yes, I want to thank Terry Gibbs, Terry Molnar. He just committed to 5,000 for the next 3 years. So thank you, Terry.
Thank you very much, Terry.
Yes. And all you got to do is just go to the website where it says donate, and you can do it electronically.
Yes, or you can mail a check, or you can do a wire transfer. All of that works. Thank you very much, Terry and AM and Linda. If you can lower your hand once you've spoken. Anthony, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning. I'm Anthony David Hawes from the east coast of South Africa. So I'm very pleased to see that a number of those places are fairly close to South Africa and our coast. And my 2 cents worth is very simple. I like exactly what the plan is, and I like the objective. And the way I see it is very simple. This is a machine that wants to improve our climate. And the way I see it is there's a number of little cogs turning and doing their thing, and they're effective in what they're doing. And the group that we want to do with a partnership is actually get these cogs to start working together to move this entire machine forward. So yes, the overall objective is to improve the climate. And each person in their process That's why I'm excited about the partnerships of bringing everybody in, of not saying, no, what you're doing isn't the right thing, what we're doing is the right thing. No, these cogs must all work together, and by the cogs all working and spinning together, it'll move this whole machine forward. That's what I'm excited about.
Excellent.
The
Excellent.
partnership of everybody doing their bit. And not only doing their bit, but actually making people aware. Because the more awareness we have in the world, the easier it is for every organization. Thank you. I like what I'm hearing.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Go ahead, Melanie.
Thank you. So what I have to say is, not that I'm such an expert, but I've been a part of several climate restoration groups and been a part of open air and people that are looking at a lot of different areas. And I love this focus and encourage us here, because what I see is this is the only thing that we can afford, and is really seems like, yes, this is achievable for us as the human race in a short amount of time without needing all, legislators and everyone else to come on board. And we will see in a short amount of time how this is panning out for us. And if we start to diversify that too much, it turns into the same conversation that I'm finding in a lot of these organizations. It is all good work. A lot of it is meant to line people's pockets. This is not about that. And so I warn us really against going too diverse with this, because I didn't used to feel this way, but now what I see is, oh my gosh, no, we have an opportunity here that is stellar, and we need to take advantage of it and see if this is the panacea that we would hope for. We're actually talking about restoring the climate, not this way or that way being better. And any rate, thank you for listening. I'm so pleased with this getting moving.
Very good. Thank you very much, Melanie. And Peter, from 0 to 100, how focused are you on OIF?
100.
There you go. Right. So we have Peter to lead that, and then we have everybody else to support and provide the OIF team what they need. We're going to make this happen. Chuck, would you like to say something?
Thank you for the opportunity, Ilan. I don't know that most of you know this, but I was the first person that Ilan blessed by offering to become a climate ambassador for the Climate Restoration Alliance. And I took it on for Rotary. And I'll never forget my response to both he and Peter when they asked me to participate in this process. And it was, thank you for the opportunity to play in the big leagues. And I'm just so proud of being part of this organization and this group. I think we all want to play in the big leagues. And this is the big leagues. We're going to make the planet restored again. Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your support, and thank you for your love.
Yes, make Earth great again. We should make a hat. Very good. So, Dr. Sukla.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello? Hello?
We can hear you.
Hello? Yes. I am from India, and thank you for the kind invitation to join the Ocean Iron Fertilization Committee. I'm honored and delighted to accept this opportunity to contribute to the science and research aspects of such a promising biotic strategy for ocean carbon dioxide removal. The OIF committee's focus on one of the most promising biotic strategies for ocean carbon dioxide removal is an area of great interest to me. Ocean iron fertilization is a proposed method of climate change mitigation that involves adding iron to iron-poor ocean areas to stimulate phytoplankton blooms, which would absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. The idea is that this process would increase primary productivity, leading to more dead organic matter sinking to the deep ocean and sequestering carbon. The primary goal is to remove large amounts of carbon from the atmosphere and ocean, mitigating global warming. It would potentially increase biological productivity in certain ocean areas. The potential of OIF for carbon sequestration, while complex and controversial, warrants rigorous scientific exploration to understand its full effects on the marine ecosystem and regulatory framework. The risks and concerns are ecosystem disruption, harmful algal blooms, oxygen depletion, methane and nitrous oxide production, ineffective carbon capture, and uncertainty. However, I'm eager to begin contributing to the committee's goals and collaborating with the esteemed members of this team. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sukla. Can you just say a few words about yourself, your background?
Oh, yes, I'm from Kolkata, India, and I hold a PhD in agriculture degree from the University of Calcutta. And I have a research experience in agriculture and natural resource management.
Very good. Thank you very much. You're welcome to join us on Tuesday, 7 a.m. Pacific. I don't know what time it is in India. Thank you very much.
Probably 10 p.m. I think so it will be.
Oh, 10 p.m. for you. Okay. So we'll figure out the time.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sukla. Terry, you wanted to say one more thing?
Yes, I want to say a couple of things. One is, once we have more evidence that this works, consistently, stop and think how powerful that's going to be. Because then significant money will start to come toward us because we're doing it and it's working. So that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing is, this is a private sector activity. It's 100% private sector activity. And what's most significant about it is Ian and Peter have done such a good job of starting to put together an organizational structure to where lots of people from all over the world can be involved and playing a role. And I know Peter and Ian are enough to know that they're going to make sure this is managed really well in terms of everybody feeling that there's a consensus around everything we're doing and that building out instead of this polarization crap that we're stuck in today in this world. And then the third thing I want to say is that if other groups start to come up with something with bamboo or something, they can take a look at what we're doing. And we're happy to coach them to organize their organization to do the same damn thing. So it's not that we're going to abandon all the other mechanisms. We're going to help them do the same kind of model that we're doing. But we're not going to merge everything into like the last person, I think it was Melanie that was speaking, to where it becomes a cluster conversation. So you see where I'm going. And then the last thing I want to say is wonderful to have Mother India here, and I'm so glad that Rotary is on first base.
Very good. Thank you very much, Terry. We have 3 more minutes, so a few more things that can be said. Ella Joan, would you like to say hi?
No, other than I love this work. I love this. I've been around since you and Peter had these ideas. Peter shared them with me all along. I'm here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. in my little space of the environment and CO2, and we're all working and go with this new project. Go, go.
Very good. Thank you very much. We're at the end of our session. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for all the work that you're doing, all the support that you're providing. This is just an amazing opportunity, like people have said here before. And you know, we are the people. This is the time we're going to make this happen. Thank you very much and good night.
Thank you all.
I just wanted to say I'm just delighted and excited to be part of this. I'm sending out my email to my mailing list this week to invite people to participate financially in the work.
Thank
so
you.
Let's see what happens.
Frank,
Great.
thank you.
Oh.
Brian.
Yeah, I just wanted to invite Chuck to do whatever the Rotary process is to try and schedule himself to speak to the Downtown Rotary Club in San Francisco, which is known as the number 2 club. The number 1 Rotary Club is Chicago. The number 2 is San Francisco. So if we could get Chuck at some point to travel to San Francisco to speak to that Rotary Club, we can then inspire other people to travel to other cities and speak to the other Rotary clubs.
We're actually putting together digitally videos that can be sponsored in Rotary clubs. We're testing it out here in Central New York, so it'll be put together in a way that it can be presented. I am available to do it on Zoom, and I've actually turned down offers to be at the Rotary conference because air travel is just contrary to my way of being in life these days. So I limit it as much as possible. And with the digital capabilities we have, the technology we have, we can get the job done. All we really need is someone passionate in that club to work with, and we can provide the information to really get all of everything out. So thank you for the invitation. I'm sure we can work something out, and I'll put my email in the chat.
And I want to mention, Brian, that we have maybe 10 climate restoration ambassadors who are also Rotarians, and some of them are on the West Coast. So, you know, that might be easier to bring one of those. And we also have, you know, other people like Peter in the San Francisco area. So if there's an opportunity to speak in front of Rotarians, it doesn't necessarily have to be a Rotarian, I believe. I
think it needs to be a Rotarian. I'm not a Rotarian, so it needs to be a Rotarian to invite or knows how to work, you know, work the system to get the invitation done.
Chuck is a master. When he does a presentation, there's 100% enrollment over there. Tony Crooks.
Well, that's what I shoot for.
Tony Crooks, I would like to hear from you.
Hello, I'm Tony. I'm in Leeds, UK. I would like to give time to this project, and I hope I will be able to in the future. But right now, I'm working on a very large-scale project to reconnect the water cycle, small water cycles in East and Southern Africa. That is relevant to stopping droughts, to regreening the landscape, to recharging water tables, to increase food security, and to do some other things that I can't mention because they're still confidential, but they are big scale things. So the first countries that I'll be concentrating on will be Kenya, Malawi, and places like that. But with this, then we operate Aotea, my company, of which I'm a founder, we operate in 8 African nations. And so I may get the opportunity to go to the ones that are on the coast. So that's Kenya, Tanzania, Mozambique, and South Africa. Between them, that's just over 5,000 miles of coastline. So if I get the opportunity, perhaps I will be talking, if I go to these places, I will be talking to government. So hopefully I can include ocean iron fertilization as well and include that as part of the program.
Very good.
That's all, really.
Thank you, Tony. I believe there's a few places that we were aligned. I would love to have a Zoom meeting with you in the next few weeks to kind of learn more about you and about what you do.
Okay.
Very good. Excellent. Anybody else, or are we done for today?
I think we're good.
Very good. Thank
Milan,
you.
great work. Craig, AM, Linda, Sukla, Tim, Brian, Chuck, Tony, Patty, Rose, Micah, and Chris. What a great team. What a great team.
I think we're getting really better at this, and I would like to have at least 500 people in our January 22nd webinar. So thinking about that.
Terry, I mean, Ilan, what about the 1,000 people that you mentioned? Now, how did it go to 500?
No, at the Zoom, I mean.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
Be live with us at the Zoom on January 22nd.
I was just checking.
Okay.
That's right. How to keep him on his toes there. Damn. I love it.
I suggest that we invite our grandchildren, since everybody here has either, less hair or gray hair. We need to start inviting our grandchildren and tell them to invite their parents.
Yeah.
Brian, you're going to be the leader in it, and starting with San Francisco, anything happens in San Francisco happens around the world. So go ahead, Brian.
Good.
That's a great idea. Thank you.
Yeah. Somebody
Great.
said we need to have the grandchildren fund for climate restoration.
Yeah. I like that. It could certainly be a DBA, just another name for the Grandparents Fund.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. And maybe we can get 500 people in India. Sukla, are there 500 people in India who might be interested?
You can get give the kids like little UNICEF penny banks,
that's
or
right.
the Chabad charity boxes, and tell them to put their pennies in and send them into the finance committee.
Wow, that's a great idea.
I love it.
The question Peter asked is, are there 500 people in India that would like to come to our January 22nd webinar?
I shall give some digital advertisement. Let's see how that will help me.
Very good.
And people.
Very good. You're our person in India.
Yes.
Yeah. Great.
Oh. Good. I think we can just leave.
Yeah, let's finish up. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you, everybody.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Bye. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.